So my dear 10th grade students, we're going to start a revision of a chapter whose name is Equation of Line, which is the 14th chapter of our Selina Concise textbook. Here we would like to revise you the basics of this chapter. The first thing is inclination. Now, the word inclination, what does it mean? It means that is an angle. Inclination is an angle made by a line with x-axis. It's a little bit hard to understand. I would like to repeat the definition again. Inclination is an angle made by a line with x-axis. So let's see where is this inclination formed. As you know, my dear students, this is y-axis, this is x-axis, and this is the line which is making an angle with x-axis. Can you see this? This angle formed here is called inclination and is represented by the word by theta. This angle formed with the line and x-axis is represented by theta. Now there are two things here. First thing, anti-clockwise if angles are made, then they are positive, and clockwise if angles are made, then value is negative. Are you understanding this, students? We will repeat two things again. Inclination is an angle made by a line with x-axis. Now anti-clockwise, all the angles made have positive values, and clockwise, all the angles which they make have negative values. Now, after inclination, we have a next thing in it which is called as a very important slope. So, slope is what? Slope, when you see this line making an angle, how deep it is. So, which is called slope, and slope has a formula. Slope का formula is tan theta or y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. One more time for formula I would like to repeat. Formula for slope is tan theta or y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So these two formulas determine the value of the inclination, which is called as slope. Correct? Now, slope is a concept which is very well related to the next exercise. How does it help you in the sums? Now, there are 2 points in for this slope. First point, if two lines if you see and their slopes are equal, if two lines you see and their slopes are equal, then the conclusion is if slopes are equal, lines are parallel. One more time, students. If slopes are equal, lines are parallel. Last time, students, if slopes are equal, lines are parallel. Second concept, if you try to understand, if the product of the two slopes, now there are two lines, you find their slopes and you find their product. Just an example, if the first line has slope 3 upon 4. One more time, to explain you this concept, would like to write something. M1 is 3 upon 4. The slope of first line is 3 upon 4 and M2 is minus 4 upon 3. One more time, if the product of two slope is minus 1. The second property is if the product of two slopes is minus 1. You can see here M1 into M2 is equal to 3 upon 4 into minus 4 upon 3. So, when you reduce the students, you get minus 1. So, would like to conclude with this. If two lines ka slope you multiply and you get the answer minus 1, then the lines are said to be perpendicular. If the product of two slopes is minus 1, then lines are perpendicular. One more time. If product of two slopes is minus 1, then the lines are said to be perpendicular. Finally, last time, if product of two slopes is minus 1, then The lines are said to be perpendicular. So yes, students, we would like to revise important formulas of this chapter, equation of line. The first formula is section formula. Now this formula is used in the entire chapter. X is equals to mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n. Similarly, y is equals to my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n. Now, I would like to tell you what is this m and n. First thing, m and n are the ratios in which a point divides the line segment. Let's understand this. So, there is a line is AB, okay, and point P is dividing line AB in the ratio 2:3. One more time, students, formula has M and N. So we are understanding what is this M and N. Point P divides segment AB in the ratio 2:3. So when we say 2:3, that is the value for M and N. So M is equals to 2 and N is equals to 3. So did you understand what is M and N? Again, M and N are the ratios in which point divides segment AB, and x1, y1, x2, y2 are the two coordinates whose value we have to substitute in this formula. Suppose A is minus 5, 7, it is x1, y1, and B is 3, 4, it will be x2, y2. So these coordinates are to be substituted in this formula. Formula we will revise last time. X is equals to mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n. Similarly, y is equals to my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n. We have to substitute this value exactly in this formula. The second formula we have is midpoint formula. A very easy formula. Suppose point P is bisecting segment AB. Point P is the midpoint of segment AB. So same formula we will use. X is equals to x1 plus x2 upon 2 and y is equals to y1 plus y2 upon 2. Coordinates of A are called as x1, y1. Coordinate of B is called as x2, y2. And what coordinate we get of P would be x and y. Third formula, centroid. Now, centroid is a point of intersection of three medians. You can understand, students, we have a triangle and three medians we have. So, point of intersection of three medians is called centroid. X is equals to coordinate of centroid if we want to find. X is equals to x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3 and y is equals to y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. So did you understand these three formulas? Section formula, midpoint formula and centroid formula. Now, most important part of this chapter, equation of line, is forming those equations. And for that, we have four formulas. First formula is called slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept form is y is equals to mx plus c. One more time, y is equals to mx plus c. So what is m in that? M is slope. What is c in this? Y-intercept. Now very important for us to know what is y-intercept and x-intercept. Y-intercept is a distance of a point on y-axis from origin. I would like to explain you here, students. So please see, if there is a y-axis here and an x-axis here, so there is a point P which is at a distance from the origin, say 3. So it means, students, y-intercept is 3. One more time, we would like to discuss what is y-intercept. Y-intercept is a distance of a point on y-axis from origin. So we call it as y-intercept as 3. Now, when you have y-intercept and when you have slope, you have to use this formula slope-intercept form. So, y is equals to mx plus c. M का value is slope का value, c का value is y-intercept का value. Just fill in the blanks. Second formula is slope point form. And when do we have to use this formula? When we have a slope which is fixed, and again to revise, slope is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, or it is tan theta. So now slope we have, and we have coordinates of x1 and y1. So when we have the coordinates of x1, y1 means 1 point we have, and we have one slope. When we have 1 point and we have one slope, we use formula slope point form, which is y minus y1 is equals to m bracket x minus x1. So second formula we did. Now third formula, which is very easy, 2-point form, which clearly suggests you will have two coordinates, you will have 2 points, you will have x1 y1 and you will have x2 y2. So when you have these 2 points, don't have to think anything and substitute in 2-point form. Y minus y1 upon x minus x1 is equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So this is our third formula. Now last formula, little more easy. When we have x-intercept ka value, let's say x-intercept as 3. And when we have y-intercept ka value, in this formula, y-intercept is represented by the letter B. We will have y-intercept B is equals to, let's say, 7. And we have to substitute the values of A and B in this formula. The formula is x upon A plus y upon B is equals to 1. So x-intercept ka value, whatever you have, put it here. Y-intercept ka value, whatever you have, put it here. And then to make an equation, you have to take LCM in this. LCM becomes a very important part in this, which we will do in some sums later. So the fourth formula is x upon A plus y upon B is equals to 1. So like that, students, we did the most important formulas of the chapter equation of line.